Hey, hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, four crazy rescue dogs, rescue cat, two rescue guinea pigs, who likes to craft in her spare time, has gone back to school to be an ASL interpreter, and is trying to train for Iron Man. And if you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message. It boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem, and I could really use that. And if you're returning, you already know the crazy you're in for, so grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. If you are in the States, happy Labor Day. It is Monday evening. I have been trying to get a bunch of stuff done, having the day off, but knowing that I am up in Bay City tomorrow, Bay County, tomorrow morning for a hearing, um, has me a little on edge. I need to do a little bit more work tonight. And I also need to figure out how long the drive is from here. It's been a while since I've driven there. And when I drove there last time, I drove from the office, I think. Um, so that's a little bit. So, um, we had our first day of class. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Um, my one class we have to put together our portfolio, and our portfolio all has to be done electronically. So I'm going to need to be able to find a um, really good space where I can record those videos because it matters. Um, it likely means that I will be recording at school, to be honest, in our one studio, just because I know it's a good space as far as background and noise, not having the dogs interrupting, those types of things. Um, so yeah. Bean got into all of her classes. She got the waivers. She got in. So that is good news. She even got into, she has to repeat English. She got a C in English. She needs a C plus for the program. We actually got her into a class. She's also taking her one humanities which is like Miss Magic and something. I don't know. Sounds kind of cool, but um, the boy had his last day, and it's a bummer. Um, he is taking two classes. He's taking ASL 1. He got in. We got him a spot, thank goodness. And he is also taking Comp 1. Comp 1 is Saturday morning from 9 to noon. So I am essentially at a college campus. Monday, I'm at one campus. Tuesday, I'm at two different campuses driving. Wednesday is my class, but my classes actually don't meet at a campus every single week. I did put in for the internship, and there is a chance that I could have an internship where I go down to Louisville, Kentucky for a week, um, which would be very cool. It is mostly educational interpreting, which is not something necessarily that is at the top of my list to do. Actually, it is not at the top of my list to do, but it would be very cool. And Jasmine and I are talking about us being like us teaming that week together and going down together. Um, and if you know me and Jasmine are ride and die. We're each other's ride and die. Ride or die, ride and die. We're each other's besties. Um, and that would be really cool because that's her, like where she's actually from. The other thing is my daughter let me know that in Kentucky, there is a thing called a cocaine bear. Her friend from Canada shared this information with her. And if you think the cocaine bear can marry you. You can get married by the cocaine bear. Now, the even more interesting part of this is at one point the cocaine bear was alive, but the cocaine bear like died, and they have had it taxidermied. And it is in the middle of a mall, apparently. And I'm dying. Because I will tell you, and I think I told you guys this before. Maybe I told you guys this story before. It's been a recent thing. When I originally wanted to get marry my ex-husband, I wanted to fly to Vegas, like on a red eye, not deal with all the family drama and all of that, right? And get married in a drive-through in a convertible by Elvis. Y'all, the cocaine bear tops that. And I'm just thinking, remarriage, that's the plan. We're going to go see the cocaine bear. Yep. Yep. So I'll let y'all know, and y'all can meet us in Kentucky at the cocaine bear. I don't have any plans to get married anytime soon, but that is going to be the plan. Okay. So we had that. The boy child has started classes. He is looking for a job. My schedule, I have once again double booked myself. I need to fire my secretary apparently because she's worthless at this point. The problem is I don't like always typing it into my phone calendar. Like it just, I don't know. I like a paper planner. I like making lists. But I don't, and I love the Happy Planner in a lot of ways, but I don't feel like the Happy Planner is very professional. Like to whip out your Happy Planner in the middle of court, and I've got to have it all in one system. And I feel like if it's a paper planner that I can set at my table or take with me or wherever, and I even if it's just like a page at a time where I can fill in like space after having the monthly planner, like I can just have blank sheets, a bunch of blank sheets, and then another monthly planner, and then a bunch of blank sheets where I can do my list. I think that would work okay. Um, but they have to be fairly big squares because some of my days are pretty chaotic. The other thing is I am like I'll just forget to write it down, and or like the court will send me a document with the date on it, and those I'm pretty good about putting into planners. But like the boy child sent me something, and I'm like, I didn't put it in my planner. And hold please, I need to turn the air up. I am dying. Holy cow. Okay. It's like, I don't know. It's worse than the menopause. Um, and I'm done with the steroids, but I will tell you, like, my body is still like in freak out mode where I know like most people when they take steroids their body feels better and like maybe the inflammation goes down or whatever. I am not so fortunate. Like sometimes like my nervous system goes into overdrive. And one, I sweat, which I generally don't with my neurological condition. So sweating is gross when you're not used to it. I mean, it's gross anyways, but it's really different when you're not used to it. And then when your body's like, I don't know if it's my body. Anyways, my body is all full of inflammation right now, and I can feel it in all of my joints and in my fingers, and which also makes signing very hard when you're having a hard time um, with your fingers. Now, I will say my nails are longer than they have been in eons, and honestly, they're too long. I need to cut them, but I'm scared to cut them, so I may need to like go up to the beauty school and have a manicure because I want them all shaped in like the same size, same length, size, the same length. So whatever. And it's like $7 for manicure, but I don't know. Okay. So we have a lot to do to go through. I've been stitching and I've been knitting. And I only bought one thing. I lied. That is not true. That's not true. We'll go over haul first. Okay. So in this next week, I have to film a section of my portfolio. I have to do my introduction. And then, and I don't know, do you guys want to see, like, do you want me to try and figure out how to include like a video clip? They're like, each section is at most 5 minutes. I could always try and throw them at the end, so that you guys can see me signing. I mean, you do see a little bit, but I have a hair tie. Y'all, I'm literally like feeling skanky. I actually got to sleep in this morning till 8 o'clock. I know. Oh, so anyways, so Wednesday is my classes. Thursday, the boy child is out at a campus. Friday, 5 of the Fridays this semester, I'm out at campus. And then Saturday, he's at a different campus. And I'm grateful my mother is taking Bean to class tomorrow because I'm going to be up in Bay City, Bay County. Which, if I remember, is where the stitching well is, up by the stitching well. So, given what I joined, I need fabric for it. I have all the flosses. I bought the few that I needed. I didn't need many, thank God. But I don't have this like turquoisey blue. It's just crazy. You'd think I would, but I don't. And I don't feel like it. So, the Black Needle Society is doing a stitch along. And in order to buy into the stitch along, the one owner of the Black Needle Society is a teacher in a low income school. And they have an Amazon wish list. And if you buy something off the wish list for the school, and there's all sorts of price ranges. So, I mean, from like $5 and up. You send them a copy of your Amazon receipt, like your email. You can just forward your email from Amazon that says you purchased whatever. And they will let you join in the Schoolhouse Rocks Stitch Along. The inner child in me was so excited, and that it was something. Generally, the Black Needle Society is out of my price range. It is. It's not something that I'm able to. They have lovely stuff. It's just I can't rationalize it in my budget. And some of the other squares, like we know, I'm Just a Bill is in here. Conjunction Junction is in here. This makes my heart sing. First of all, to be able to help a school with children in need. Like they found out that they're, not the custodian, the cafeteria lady, the cook. She has a washing machine, and if the kids like have an accident or something, she washes their clothes. She's been buying the laundry soap for years. The district doesn't provide it for her. And she's also been buying the dish soap to wash the school's dishes out of her own budget, like out of her own pocket. She's been buying it. Yeah. Thank God for people like her. Like honestly, but she shouldn't need to. And so if we can help out by sending, or like her and another school are sharing the apple peeler, apple cutter thing. What? or she brings in her own cooking utensils. That's insane to me. So we get to help out a great school, and we get a fantastic project. Sal. So I joined in immediately. The first second I looked, I was like, oh, I can afford that. That's not a problem. That's not going to hurt my budget. Like, okay. This is part one. So they recommend this. My printer, my color ink is almost gone. It's this, what is it? It's like Wahoo Blue or something from Wapo Blue from Needle Bling Designs, which is this really bright turquoisey fabric, which is fantastic. Here, this one's a little bit better. Okay, I don't know why I printed it out to it. Okay. It's the floss is all DMC. I don't have anything this blue. I have lighter blues, but I don't, like, the whites are not going to pop off of it. And I went back and forth on what I was going to do. I may go ahead, like, so if this, depending on time and depending on where the stitching well is in relationship to where I am tomorrow, I may stop by and see if they have something comparable to Wapo Blue. If not, I will just go ahead and go on Etsy and buy the Ada. I don't know that I don't want to stitch on linen for this project. I want it to be one of those, I want it to be an easy on my eyes. So hopefully she has a 16 count Ada in that shade. But is that not fantastic? So please join me in the Schoolhouse Rocks. Hashtag Schoolhouse Rocks sale. Okay. The other thing, if you've been with me for a little bit, you know that I was a test pattern for a dinosaur, the Stegosaurus sweater. And I got kind of caught up with trying to figure things out. Learned a lot. Made it pretty far, actually, I think, for me. And then Oreo ate my sweat, my needles, and my string. So, Mary, the designer, who is fantastic, has designed yet another. Okay, she's a former archaeology major. She lives right here in Michigan. She lives in Ann Arbor. So she's like an hour and a half, if that, not even, from me. Like, her and I could literally meet on a weekend and go to coffee. She's come up with another sweater, and she has graciously said that I could test knit it as well. And so I will be casting this one on soon too. Is that not just adorable? So that's the excavation sweater. I have not decided what colors I'm going to do this in. Most of my clothing is black, as we all know. It's black. I would like to branch out a little bit, but I also know, like, I'm never going to wear a purple sweater. So I don't know. She said I could do any size I want. I'm kind of leaning towards doing Bean's size, actually. And then if it's Bean, then Bean's going to want blues. That's a Brontosaurus. And that's a Stegosaurus. And I love this. I love this. I also got picked to test knit another designer's sweater. I went from not knitting sweaters at all, not knowing how to do like the Faroe Isles stitching, to now I'm going to have 3 casted on. And that one I can't really share with you because it's a test and she wants it to be a surprise, but it does go with the, apparently it's the year of the rabbit. And the sweater is rabbit themed. That's all I can share. Okay. I'm also working on a test cross stitch for Rin. Now, here's the thing. Mary's sweater isn't due until the end of November. Rin needs it before December. So I'm good. I'm good. Rin's I can't show you because it's going to be featured in a magazine and it's a surprise. So, sorry. You just have to stay tuned. As soon as I can show it, I will. Okay. So, Here's my Stegosaurus sweater. I got it all back on, brand new needles. It's all casted on. I lost 6 rows total. I'm okay with that. So we are slowly working our way back. As soon as this section of the grid is, so while it was off its needles and whatnot, I was able to try it on. It fits amazing. It fits amazing. It fits amazing. I'm so excited to have a sweater that actually fits me properly. Like, I know that I can I can make it as long as I want, within reason, obviously. I mean, I didn't buy a ton of extra yarn. And I know that, like, the sleeves aren't going to be ungodly long. And I am all about that. So, okay, so let's get into our cross stitch, because the sewing I did was some mending on pairs of pants. So it's not like I can show you, like, not going to be that exciting. Okay. So in my last video, I actually was giving away a PDF of this chart, and I had talked to the designer, and her and I have talked some more, and actually, so that is my Santa Merman. He's glorious. My chunky, tattooed Santa Merman. And if you don't love this, I don't know what's wrong with you, because this is just, and he sparkles, and he is fantastic. He's fantastic. So the winner of the PDF is Coffee Nests. So if you will message me, preferably on Instagram at His Princess Kelly, I will get you the PDF of that pattern. I have then gone on to talk to the designer, who is Maya Stitches on Etsy, and I asked her if she had any intentions of doing a Mrs. Claus that went with him. And she's like, you mean like all tatted and stuff? And I was like, well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like with like long gray flowy hair and big boobs and just kind of sexy. Maybe holding a cup of coffee and some cookies. And she loved the idea. And so I believe from our conversation that we will be getting a Mrs. Claus to go with our tattooed Santa. I am almost 50% done with him. But I was dying to start the back stitch, because my fear is that I'm going to leave all this back stitching, because he does have a lot of back stitching, that if I left it to the end, I don't know. I will say that the back stitching is like, if you're familiar with Autumn Lane Designs patterns, where some of it is 2 strands, some of it's 3 strands, some of it's single strands, that is how this back stitching is. So you have to be very aware when you are back stitching. But hello, is he not just chef's kiss? He's glorious. And I find myself always, like, this is one of those pieces, like, I just want to keep working on and working on and working on. And I have a hard time putting him down. And even though he has Krynic in it, he has Krynic silver, like, and this really light pink. Now the light pink was hard I had to order it from 123 Stitch. I actually wish he had more Krynic in him. And when I stitch Mrs. Claus, because I'm holding my breath for it, honestly, like, I cannot wait. I will be like the first one in line to order it when I see it. Mrs. Claus, I will add in more Krynic or Etoile or something. Because I think Mrs. Claus especially needs to be more blingy. I can kind of understand Santa not being so blingy, but this is just on a piece of 18 count Aida that I dyed myself. It's kind of a mint bluey green. I think it's gorgeous. So yeah, he's glorious. He's one of my favorite things to stitch on right now, even with all of the back stitching and everything. And I got the pattern. The pattern will load into with some finessing, it will load into Pattern Keeper. The problem with Pattern Keeper is, and this is across the board, Pattern Keeper doesn't do back stitching. And I don't know when or if that will ever happen, but I really hope it does. So, okay. So, next up. I started a hashtag. And I told you guys I was starting this hashtag last week. Well, I did it. On Wednesday, we started hashtag Wiener Wednesday. And on Wiener Wednesday, we stitch any wiener dog related pattern. Because it's Wiener Wednesday. So I have had these in my stash for quite some time. And I love them. And I've stitched spring roll. I stitched yellow polka dot bikini. I may have stitched one more. Okay. So on Wednesday, I started turkey sausage. Did I get very far? No, because my Wednesday morning, I stitched before I took the boy child to work, and then I went off to classes. So I have that center pumpkin done. That's where I'm at. That works out really well for me, that sort of hour. Well, it was. I don't, it's obviously going to change now that he's no longer working. But I would wake up, I would have my coffee, let my morning meds kick in, like any pain meds that I needed or whatnot. I would stitch for like an hour. Then I would go shower when I would take him to work and start my day. And that worked out really well for getting stuff done. So we'll see how that changes now. Okay. I worked on my Courage Cell from Praiseworthy Stitches. This month too, in Magical Stitches, we have to spell out projects. You stitch, what is it, 100 stitches on a project that spells out Circle of Quilters. And it has to be your pattern name that starts it. It can't be like before, some months we've done it where it's the designer or whatever. So this is C for Courage, so I got to work on it. I am doing mine, as you guys all recall, on Atomic Ranch Clouds, 18 count cloud, 18 count, 16 count. $18 count. I was right. I don't know why I doubt myself. 18 count. Clouds from Atomic Ranch, which is a lovely fabric. I am doing mine in the colors of Intracranial Hypertension, and also, which is blue and green. I'm using Forbidden Fiber Co. Pickle, which is a lovely bright green. And then Threadworks Design 11383. I'm also using a teal, which represents PCOS awareness, sexual assault of survivors in ovarian cancer. Uterine cancer, not ovarian cancer. Ovarian cancer is peach. And I've added in touches of, so far, just a hint of white here and there, like for the lilies of the valley, to represent miscarriage. So I worked on this. I now have it stitched. This is as wide as it, if I've counted right. If I've counted, this is why we have it, like, because Kelly has issues counting sometimes. This is all the way across and not quite all the way down. But I finished this motif. I finished my little tree. But mostly I worked on this line. I love this piece. I cannot wait to have it on my wall. The only hashtag that goes with this is Pam Survival Sale. It's in my little bin. Okay. Next up, okay, is Stocking Sunday. I started with the boy childs because I didn't have the floss for, I had the flosses, I didn't have the fabric for anybody else's. Okay. They send you 14 count Aida. That has to be some of the stiffest Aida ever. Okay. They send you this 2 bags with wadded up floss in it that you have to sort and figure out which one is light orange, dark orange, light yellow, light orange, burgundy, red, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So at first I thought I had the right color. Turns out I did not. So then I finally got it sorted and figured out. So this is the color palette. Are they all my cards even? Nope. Nope, they are not. But after all of that work, I had originally I'd put in the wrong of this color. So then I had to frog all of that, and then I put in that. So that's what I did on Sunday. I know, it's not a massive start, but it's still a start. So that's Stocking Sunday. I love a good hashtag. I love a good hashtag. I can't help it. Okay, next up is Sorority Saturday. Thanks to Corey Creates. Thank you, Corey, at Corey Creates. And I am stitching this on one more reproduction by B Stitch Me in a 32 count Joglin. This is my sorority's armorial bearings, otherwise known as our crest. This fabric is lovely. It is so thick though that it's kind of crazy. So on Saturday mornings, I work on something sorority related. That is my plan, so hence Sorority Saturday. I'm doing pretty good. It's a little slower for me because it is a linen type thing. So like the holes aren't super like, and I'm doing it 2/2. And so far I love it. My hope is that I have a piece that's 18 by 34. I think that's a fat 1/8. I think. So my hope is that the armorial bearings will be here. I know that's big enough. But that if I then, once that is done, that hopefully, once I remeasure everything, that this piece here, if I go this way, will be big enough so that I can do a lavender and lace Celtic lady, but do her in my sorority colors, which are red, buff, and green. So on Saturday, we do Sorority Saturday. I feel like, and on pink, on Wednesday, we wear pink, but we don't. We could. Actually, usually on Wednesdays, I'm wearing black. Okay. So that leads me to my next project. Hashtag Festive Friday. And right now it's spooky stuff. It's Frightful Festive Friday. Thank you, Janet Jabber, for the hashtag. I am working on Halloween Parade. It's the first up in this. Oh my God, why haven't I stitched it, Sal? Hashtag. Why haven't I stitched that yet? I don't know. This was gifted to me. It was a pay it forward by Michelle on Instagram. Michelle 11W. And then when I'm done, I will raffle it off, gift it, pay it forward. So I did start it on Friday. I now have all of the DMCs. I'm stitching it on a, I don't know, piece of fabric. I think, okay, one of two people gave me this fabric because I don't recall ever buying it. And it's like this kind of a lavender, but it's like a, I don't want to offend anybody, but it's kind of like a dingy lavender. I don't know how else to say it. Dirty lavender? Is it dirty lavender? Okay. So I either got it from Janet or from Stephanie. I don't know. I don't know. But okay. Either way, I love it. It's perfect. It fits. I worked Friday on my bat because on that day I only had the 310, which, if you know, you know. I have stitched more 310 lately. I deserve a medal. Okay. So on Friday we work on this. On Festive Friday. It's so cute. So cute. Oh, but wait, there's more. Okay. So I am still trying to catch up on last month's WIPGO. Because, and part of that is because I put a project in the free space, and the free space was called last month. And so, actually, not even, yeah. So the free space was called in July. I got behind. And then, behind. So I still owe this baby 3 more times for August. I had thought maybe I'd have them all in by the time I saw you this month. I do not. And that's the periodic table for my daughter, Bean. Okay. Bean is not Bean's real name, by the way, because her teacher actually thought, because I always call my daughter Bean, and that is how I refer to my daughter is as Bean. And she actually thought, because now that same professor has my daughter in class, too. She's got 2 out of the 3 Regal Greens in different classes. So she thought I named my daughter Bean. I was like, I did not name my daughter Bean. I said, but for Bean's privacy, because Bean is very introverted, I call her Bean. And I've actually called her Bean since I was a baby. Well, since she was a baby. It was my nickname as a child as well, was Baby Beans, because I have a Baby Bean doll. And my mom swore I looked like Baby Bean doll with big blue eyes, and I had blonde hair, and that's what Baby Beans had. We've just called Bean Bean since she was a baby. It was that or Bella Boo. So Bean stuck. And so yeah. So this is for Bean. It will be the periodic table of elements. So I got in the second row. These are all 2 rows. So I got in the second row there. Obviously started coming down here. Finished in here. So we're making our way across. Once we get to this point, that will be the halfway of the fabric and halfway across the periodic table. It's not that far, but oh my god, it is. It really is. And of course, that's all in 310 right now. That has no specific dates that I work on it. I do have to be here to work on it, but it's fine. Okay. Oh, there's still plenty more. Okay. So, I have been working on Rosie. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I have been working my ass off on Rosie. We are now nearing 40% done. So close, and yet so far. Each 1% is like 600 stitches, is what I have figured it out. But Can we just love that? No, no, seriously. This is stitched on, I believe, a 20 or a 22 count Aida. I don't remember. And I'm stitching it 2/1, which makes it super tight. But can we just... Is that not just glorious? It makes me so happy to work on this project. Like, and I know that it is well loved and that the person I am stitching it for is in awe. And because they tell me that when they see it and when we talk on the phone, it's like, holy cow. And he loves that I post my progress on it, so that he can see it kind of emerging itself as well. And that makes me happy. Okay. So in September, the Whip Go calls were Buffet Map was in square number 1. I have already given this 5 stitching sessions. This was also on my 52 card whip pickup. And if you recall, I had said there was a chunk that I had to frog, like thousands of stitches. I had to frog, and I cried every single time. So when I frogged, that counted as my 52 card whip pickup. When I stitched, it counted as whip go. I did not double dip. Not that it matters. Like, really, are you guys like policing me? No. So I'm happy to report that all of the stitches have been officially frogged. I will give you a hint. When you have to do that many stitches that are frogged, you have to be, you have to be super careful, because I did nick one of the strands, not to the point where all of them are cut, but I'm going to have, like, makes me a little nervous, but not like, okay. You can use a sewing seam ripper if you are really careful. And that is how I ended up getting them all frogged finally. It still took me a while because I still very nervous. So, but I have officially made it to 2%. 2%. I can't believe I'm excited about being 2% done with any project. 2%. But, and just so that we're clear, %2 is 7,197 stitches. 7,000, basically 7,200 stitches is 2%. This is Buffet Mat by Unconventional Cross Stitch. This is a gift for my friend John, who's also a triathlete and a coach and a fellow lawyer. For those of you who are not familiar with this pattern, this is totally out of my wheelhouse. I will tell you this. Like, look, I will stitch a bunch of stuff. This would generally, okay, if this was not for a gift, this is not something I would have ever picked to stitch. It's amazing. It's not my thing at all. So I am up here in this corner. Now I have stitched a couple stitches wide, like all the way down. So I do know the ending point here. I had thought I'd stitched all the way here, but yeah, we all know how that worked out. Yep. So, it is a total of 360,000 stitches. almost 50,000 stitches just in 310. Okay. And just so we know, Hillbilly, like my Rosie truck. Let me see. Rosie is a total of 63,240 stitches, of which I've stitched 24,148, which leaves me, Rosie is 38.18% done. Originally in 310, Rosie had like over 7,000 stitches in 310 alone. I'm down to 4,800 stitches in 310. So again, so it is called for on WIPGO, and I still owe the fail mat 5 more stitching times this month. Okay, there's still more. Okay, next up, I have gotten this up to, this is the piece where I wasn't sure I was going to continue with it. And I did some soul searching last week about some things, and there's still more soul searching to be done. This gift was always for his mom. It had nothing to do with him. He made it about himself, but it realistically never had anything to do with him. And so I am going to finish this piece. And that is the picture of Kay and Dennis. I am stitching this on an 18 count Aida that also needs to highly be washed when I'm done. It will be a picture of her and her husband who has passed. Okay, up close it's been looking like shit. I'm like, I don't know, this is not working. And I was like, it doesn't look like anybody. Okay, it actually does look like a person's head. Kind of excited. I am working away on, I did change, so my one square on WIPGO was 4K. And I was like, okay, so I started to cross off those blocks, and I'm going to continue to do that when I work ahead on something. So like Rosie doesn't have another day on here, like another month that it will get called. And that's fine. So like, okay, so K is officially at 12.06%. She's a total of 41,356 stitches. This is what it will look like when I'm done. Hopefully, God willing. So yeah, so I am working obviously in here. Is it perfect to the pattern? No, because apparently I can't count, and apparently I can't follow my own freaking pattern. Whatever. But I'm super excited. So I will be working on that. Oh, there's more. I was like a Stitch-o-matronic, as Michelle Bendy says. Also called this month for my WIPGO was my Modern Folk Embroidery Fruit of Plenty sale. I had thought this was the sale from 2020. Somebody corrected me. It is not. It is actually the sale from 2021. Makes me feel just a little bit better. Not a ton, I'm going to be honest, because seriously. But it is from 2021, and so I'm not as bad off as I thought I was. As of right now, we are 32.63% done. I have stitched 15,464 out of 47,397 stitches. I love these stats from Pattern Keeper. I am stitching it with 310. 310. Seriously, 310. And DMC 647, as well as several bursts of colors. The two center medallions are ones that you can self-pick. I am leaving them as they are right in this picture, believe it or not. I know, craziness. That is what it will look like when it is done, minus the pops of color that I have been doing. This is slated for 10 days on my board. As of right now, it's had one. Yeah, I stitched on it today. So I ended up, this is that center medallion, and then I pulled the lines down here. But you can see like the pops of color. Now that center is a tree. The top block here is a tree. I may, okay, so I know for sure, I will tell you right now, my squirrels, I'm going to change them so that they are brown. They will be brown. Probably 434, 435. They will be brown. I am, right now, I've already started stitching the gray here. I may, the little squigglies in the tree, I may do in like 700 or 702 in a darker green. Not in the green that is here. I want a deeper, darker, like foresty green. Kelly green. And apparently Kelly green is a trending color again. No, y'all, I know. Okay? I even had to tell a judge the other day. I just smiled. And he's like, Miss Wriggle Green, is Wriggle your maiden name or is Green your maiden name? And I said Green. And he goes, so your name is Kelly Green? And I said, yes, it is. And I said, I grew up Kelly Green. And he goes, did you know it's a color? Yes, sir. Yes, I did. He goes, it's very trendy. And I said, yes, it was when I was a kid, too. And J. Crew used to put it in their magazines across shirts, and people would cut it out and put that on my locker, as if I didn't know that that was my name. So, but I may do the tree so that it's more, it's got a pop of green. And then the house is, right now, it would be in 310. I have this vision where my house, I don't know why I did that. There we go. Even when I was a kid, I wanted a blue house. A blue house or a yellow house, one or the other. So I may change this, the color of the house. But like I said, all of the squirrels, they will be brown. So that will be another pop of color. So it's got 1 day done. It's due 9 more stitching times. Or 1 stitching time done. It's got 9 more to be done. So there's that. Okay. Believe it or not, that's all of my stitching and that's all of my knitting. Okay, last week I also gave away a spool of variegated sulky. And the winner of that is Barburbec, Barburbec. I will try to go back on both you and on Coffee Nest's post and like tag you from last week. So where does that leave us for next week? I kind of want to start a Monday hashtag. Like, I know several people do Mirabilia Monday. I'm not ready to, I have decided that I'm going to do the seasonal starts, the seasonal Celtic ladies next year. My winter, I may start on Christmas Day, and it is the Christmas mashup where I'm merging the two patterns. It should work out size-wise. I just have to find the right fabric. It is going to require quite a big piece. The other thing is that I'm hoping between now and Christmas that I can get the fabric that I want for, I did find one that I think I really like for spring and for summer. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet for fall. I've got a couple months that I need to decide. I like the idea of doing 12 by 12 on New Year's Eve. However, I never hit all 12. It's never worked out, and that's okay. And I know Janet started her queens all during Mania in May. I don't want to wait till May because I'm a planner. Okay. It's just who I am. I don't like the unknown. I like to have things settled in advance. It's who I am. I can't help that. And that's not going to change at this point. So, aside from winter, which I'm going to do Christmas first, and then I may do the just winter. But for now, I'm going to do the Christmas one during winter. I'm going to start Christmas on, I will likely start Christmas on Christmas. The other three, and then I will work on the fourth one as well. I'm going to do on New Year's, I'm going to start them on New Year's Eve, and then I will stitch on them during the season. I'm not planning on doing any of the borders. I'm only stitching the lady. The one fabric that I have found, it looks like grass and the blue sky. And I want to put spring on her, on that fabric. I just need to make sure that the sizing fits, because the Celtic, like the ladies, those are big girls. I mean, they're wafy looking, but they're big girls. Summer, there is a fabric, I think it's by Fabric Flair, fabric that looks like the beach with the sand and then the water, and it is chef's kiss. It's gorgeous. And my lady needs to go on that. Which means that I have to find something just as spectacular for fall. So if you have a suggestion, pop it down below. The other thing is, I don't think that the spring, and I think that they're subtle enough where it will enhance the lady. It won't detract from her. The Christmas one, because it will be so big, I don't know, but I don't want them just on plain, not on plain white. For the love of God, not white. I want them where they look like they're anchored. I mean, I don't want them to look like they're floating. That's just a weird, I don't like the floating thing. And the other part of that is, there's a retired pattern, and if somebody has it and is willing to loan it to me, I will make a working copy. I will send it back. I promise I will do all the things. I will guard it with my life. There's a lavender and lace pattern called Santa's Waiting, and it looks like Santa is sleeping in a chair, like in a big old armchair. But it's the same details. It's the same aesthetic and feel. And I would love to have my Santa, although I wish there was a picture of like that style of Santa where he's awake and he looks like he might be helping with the tree as well, but there's not that I have seen. So if somebody has that pattern, let me know. But I want it to look like it's in a house, like not just floating on fabric. So if somebody has a suggestion for fabric that isn't going to cost me an arm, a leg, and half my boob, that would be great. That would be great. So, okay. So this last week we worked on buffet map. So this week is the Queen of Spades. My son will be thrilled. My son will be thrilled. It's the French horn. The one where he has like 3 stitches in it. And can't find any of the flosses that I bought for it. That would be my son. It's all good because I'm sure there's a bunch of gray. So you will see the French horn next week, apparently. You will also see lots of knitting. I printed out the pattern for 2 dresses, 2 little like swing dresses that I'd like to get stitched up this week. So, but honestly, I don't know. I have the next couple weeks between mediations, online classes, driving everybody, and trying to get everything situated. I don't know where I was very lucky this last week where I got a lot of stitching done. I don't know, and a lot of things done. I don't know where I'm going to be at next week. I am expecting the yarn for my rabbit sweater to come in this week. My Joann's and Michael's and stuff doesn't, and I don't shop at Hobby Lobby. I did go into a Hobby Lobby the other day with a friend of mine, and I looked around and I was like, there's nothing here that I need that. Like, I was hoping to find a bunch of Jeep stuff because generally in their signs and stuff, they have some really cool Jeep stuff that I've seen online. The store that we went to had none. None. Because I was actually going to, like, maybe spend some money there. It's very weird for me to say. But we didn't have any. So, but our stores, and we have some, yes, I could buy independent store yarn, and there are some gorgeous yarns out there. Don't get me wrong. I can't rationalize right now with everything else going on, and now I loaned William the money to pay the down payment on his class. He is going to pay me back. I had to, so, and I have to pay for my classes and things like that. And even if I bought a sweater in the store, I generally shop sales and clearances, and I'm very frugal about my clothing spending. It's just, I will spend, okay, so here's the thing. Like, tell me the pattern is $5. Okay, and I don't second guess it. Tell me the pattern is 12, and I'm like, ugh. Okay. Tell me the fabric is $3 a yard. Okay. Tell me the fabric is $10 a yard. I'm going to wait till it goes on sale, or I have a coupon or something like that, right? I'm the same way about yarn. And especially when it's a test knit, and I don't know if I'm going to like the fit of the sweater based on the way the pattern is, I don't want to spend a boatload in yarn. That's just the long and short of it. But my Joann's and Michael's, they did not have really anything in a DK or a fingering weight yarn. And that's what both of these patterns call for. So I will be honest, I bought the yarn for the rabbit sweater. Hopefully there's enough contrast with some of the gray that I have. That I bought it off of Amazon, and it's like a blue green. I actually had intended to buy like a sage green or a rose, like a rosy color, like a rose pink, only to find out that no, I reverted to myself and bought like a sea green color. So I am hoping, um, so that's why I kind of want to branch out, but I don't want to go too crazy. Like, honestly, I would never wear this color combination. I know me. I would never wear it. I think it's adorable. And if you one of you wore it, I would love it on you. I'm sure. I would never wear it. And in fact, I'm not sure. Like, I think it's adorable. I love this pattern. It's so cute. I'm not sure I would actually ever wear it. Like the Stegosaurus, because it's just up here. I feel like, okay, I can do that. I'm not sure I can carry it. Now Bean, I think, would look cute in this, and maybe I'll get like a denim blue and cream. So she'd have this sweater, and she'd have the one with Totoro on it that I need to cast on soon. I don't know. Okay, so this next week though, I am going to focus on actually on knitting. I am going to try and get Rosie farther along in that. Oh, I know. So I'm going to start. Here's what I was going to say for Monday. I'm starting hashtag Monopoly Monday. Monopoly Monday. Because I would really like to get Monopoly done. And I did work a little bit on Monopoly in the car, I think. No, I did not. I would like to get Monopoly done for my son for Christmas. At least the board. At least the board. Probably not the cards and the playing pieces this year, but maybe I get those done for Easter. I would like to have the board to him for Christmas. In order to make that happen, I actually need to work on it. So, my week hashtags are, and I will pop those below. Do not there, here, there, there. I'm apparently talking apart. So, we start off the week with Stocking Sunday, Monopoly Monday, Wiener Dog Wednesday, or Wiener Wednesday, Festive Friday, and Sorority Saturday. And then we play Whip Go. So that's Buffet Mat and Modern Folk Embroidery, which fits in well with Sampler September. I would like to, by the end of this month on Whip Go, I would like to get the Modern Folk Embroidery maybe to the 50% mark, for sure to 40. I mean, I'm already at 36.5% or something. I would love to see it as a goal to hit 50%, and then it will get called one more time. And if I like, my goal is really and truly by the end of next year to have that one done. So fingers crossed. I have some goals. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I lost my train of thought. Oh, I did buy the Ada. I bought some Charles Craft Ada. Nothing exciting. I bought this. This will fit all three of the stockings plus. So Bean stocking, my stocking, and the man's stocking, and then the rest of the DMCs that I needed for all of that. Nothing exciting. I did register for StitchCon Weekend B. So if we get in, we get in. The cool thing is Stephanie and Nicole and I are like that. They also put in, but so did my friends Kim and Julie and a few others, and I'm so excited because that, like, I've known Kim and Julie for years now. It feels like since the panini, and we've never had the opportunity where we can meet in real life, and it would be amazing to be able to hug them and just, let's be honest, I'll probably cry. So here's the other thing. Like, so there's few times where somebody will say something and it will literally stop me at my tracks and make me change my entire viewpoint. And in the last week, I've had that happen twice, which is so weird. And the first one, believe it or not, was Jasmine. And I was telling her what had happened and some of the things we're saying. And, you know, and I said, I don't know if it's this new med that that person is taking or what. And I said, you're definitely seeing a shift in their personality. And she's like, or maybe it's uncovered his true personality. Because we're not, he's not guarding against the anxiety. He's not guarding against everything else. So maybe this is the real him. And I hope she's wrong, but it sort of stopped me at my tracks. And then I had to think, though, like, I don't react to certain medications well. It affects my personality. Um, which leads me up to the second time, which actually was earlier today. I was listening to a podcast about survivors of childhood trauma and different ways that we as adults now relate to our world based on having been raised with um, prolonged trauma. And, you know, one of the things is everybody keeps going, why can't you just sit still? Why can't you just rest? And, you know, oftentimes I say it's because I have ADHD, and I do. Um, but this guy was saying that in some people it shows up as ADHD, but it's not really a true ADHD. ADHD is actually just another symptom of the reaction to the trauma, and that the reason that, and I'll pop his thing if I remember. I'll pop it down below because he's actually got some really good points, other points too. But what he said is that the reason a lot of trauma survivors can't rest is because our brain is always on hypervigilante mode. That's just how we've now become wired. It's a safety catch. That we always have to be hyper vigilant because we never know when the next trauma is happening. And we're trying to always prevent it and to guard against it. And if we're resting, we can't be in hypervigilant mode. We can't be protecting ourselves. And I literally stopped the podcast and rewound it. And I listened to that section probably 4 or 5 times. And I am telling you, that hit deep. That was one of those oh my god moments. And I share that not because because maybe it will help somebody else in realizing what your body is doing or how you are acting and how you're handling trauma. Like maybe you thought you were handling things, or maybe it explains like why you're in this pattern and why you can't break it. Because I'm sitting here going, I know I need to rest. I've had this conversation with several people. I know I need to rest. I know that if I keep up at this pace, I am likely to burn out. And at times I do. And I crash. And that's not healthy. But I can't figure out how to stop that. And maybe the reason I couldn't figure out how to stop it was because I didn't understand why. And so, sorry, I'm all snot nosy. It's really attractive, I know. Uh, Part of the podcast also had to deal with, like, I'm sitting here and I was like, yeah, I'm done with, I graduate in December. I take two test prep classes in the winter semester that aren't needed for graduation, but will help me become certified. And like, I found out about an online master's program in sign language, and literally sat there knowing I would have to write a thesis paper, and already started hashing out, could I financially feasibly do this? How long would it take? It's online, so when would I need to apply? Because technically I already have a bachelor's degree, so it's not like I have to wait till my bachelor's. I have a bachelor's, I have a JD. I could literally apply tomorrow and be accepted into the program to start in the winter semester or next fall or whatever. And it's online. And I would have to write a master's thesis, which I've written one, so it's not like I know how to do a master's thesis. I know how to defend my paper. I did one. We had to do one for law school. Um, and I already hashed out a thesis idea to propose. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? Why, at what point is it that I'm good enough? Like, it's enough. Like, it's enough. It's enough to have 6 degrees. It's enough to be a 5-time half Ironman. And so in stitching, part of the reason that it's been nice to just stitch 310 and not worry about colors, even though I'm getting really tired of stitching 310. It's realizing that drive that some people think is amazing, and it is. Don't get me wrong. There are positives to it. Is yet another response to trauma. It's the always seeking validation. It's, if I'm constantly on the go, nobody can victimize me again. Nobody can hurt me. And so it becomes this form of self-preservation. And it's a double-edged sword, because while you're self-preserving yourself, you're also burning yourself out. And you can't help it. And then you have everybody externally, that's so awesome. Look at how great you are. Like, you're doing all these great things, which is exactly what the little person in you that I never heard that growing up. I never heard my mom or my dad say they were proud of me. And that's what I'm trying to do as an adult, is to let that little girl inside of me who needed that finally have those validations. And so, yeah, so this podcast was one of those, like, and the thing is the video is probably only like 10 minutes long. It's not very long. But it was one of those that just kind of like literally stopped me dead in my tracks today. And again, I'm not sharing it for sympathy. Like, really and truly, I'm not. I am sharing it in the hope that maybe it's somebody else who's in my situation who has had to endure some of the things that I've had to endure in my life. Um, Maybe it helps you heal too, because ultimately that's the goal. Um, and that is not a tangent I thought I would get off on, and so I do apologize. This video is certainly longer than I knew it would be long, given it all the stitching I have. When I was pulling it out, it's like, oh my goodness, there's a whole lot. Um, so yeah. Um, so with that, I want you to remember you are beautiful and you are amazing and you are smart and you are wanted and you matter. And with that, I'm going to let you go. And I'm going to go dry my tears and I'm going to work on Monopoly Monday. And actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to work on my case for tomorrow's hearing. Yikes, wish me luck. I'm going to upload this video and I will see you guys next week. Hopefully without the tears and the snotty nose. And a home run victory for tomorrow. And yeah. And if you are the two winners, I apologize. I have more stuff to pull and give away. I just didn't do it today. I also have to find the French horn. It was four pieces. Like literally, it was less than 10 stitches, or probably right around 10 stitches. If I restarted it, I think I'd be okay. But then I have to find some really cool fabric to put it on. So, that may be the mission. So, again, wishing you all the love.